All right, folks. Now, from the very first piece of content that I put out about XRP, I've made it very clear that Ripple is not any ordinary company, and XRP is designed to be a world reserve digital currency as liquid as a G10 currency. And we shouldn't be comparing Ripple to a central bank, because even a comparison to a central bank does not suffice when Ripple is ready to service the entire world. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about Ripple stating very clearly how they are going to become the #1 digital asset infrastructure provider in the world. And we know that they're going to do this on the back of XRP. They continue to invest in the XRP ecosystem. And I'm going to show you just how big this market's going to get over the course of the next few years. So without further ado, folks, I want to get right on into it. At ZachRector.com, you will find all of our community resources if you're looking to get tapped into our private group. I just had a fantastic weekly call this morning. It was a prepping call where we went over the basics of prepping, a little bit different from financial prepping. But as I said to my community this morning, all the financial prepping, all the greatest transfer of wealth talk in the world that we do every single day won't mean a thing if we can't ride out the storm. And as you guys saw yesterday, cyber attacks, not cyber attacks, systems going down, what's the excuse? It's not going to matter if you can't feed your family, you can't protect them. And this is why we had the prepping call this morning. So timely. But without further ado, everything's at ZachRector.com. Let's get started right away. So starting out here, Ripple put out this post with their blog post linked up. Ripple's ambition is to be the #1 digital asset infrastructure provider for financial services by building the core components, on and off ramps, custody, compliance, and liquidity needed for enterprises to integrate blockchain into their businesses. Learn how our product strategy has evolved for this future. So let's slide on over here to the blog post, Building the Future of Financial Infrastructure with Blockchain and Digital Assets, put out by President of Ripple, Monica Long. Now, we scroll on down here, and I'm going to show you here, they talk about how they've been around for a while. XRP Ledger's been around for a while. Fast forward 10 years, and we got the approval of the ETFs. We got the MiCA regulations. We got payment companies like Fidelity and institutions, like Stripe and PayPal, that are all coming into this crypto industry, okay? But I want to scroll on down here to the evolving Ripple's product suite. The first use case we tackled was cross-border payments, leveraging the XRP Ledger and its native digital asset XRP to move value seamlessly. Yep, we all know that story. Fast forward, where are we at today? Today, our cross-border payment solution, Ripple Payments, has near global coverage with 80+ payout markets, which represent more than 90% coverage of the daily FX markets. And that's foreign currency exchange markets, for those of you guys that don't know. Processing more than 50 billion in volume. Now, I would like to get clarification. Is this the daily volume that they are moving? Is this the all-time value that they've moved through Ripple Payments? I wish that they would have clarified this. I know some people are assuming that this means that they are moving $50 billion daily, because they followed it up with this representing 90% coverage of the daily FX markets, processing more than 50 billion in volume. So a lot of people are making the assumption that this is a 50 billion daily volume. And even if it is a 50 billion daily, remember, you got Swift, which moves 5 trillion daily. You got ACI worldwide, 14 trillion daily. We have the clearinghouse within the United States moves 2 trillion daily. So even if we are at 50 billion daily, that would be significant, but it's still a drop in the bucket compared to where we are heading. Now, while we continue to view payments, and it's so funny because people try to say that Ripple has pivoted from payments, but they reiterate right here, while we continue to view payments as the first killer application and most proven for crypto, Ripple offers more than payments today. We provide financial institutions with simple, secure, compliant digital asset infrastructure, which meaningfully improves how these customers create, store, trade, and move value. They talk about the acquisition of Medico, absolutely massive, with partners like BBVA Switzerland, HSBC, Societe Generale, Forge, and more. But this is where it gets exciting right here. We're continuing to scale the team and custody business, as well as opening a new office in Geneva coming soon to address our growing custody footprint. Now, one point that I want to add on that, we were supposed to get a Q&A town hall with Jack McDonald, CEO of Standard Custody, this week. That didn't occur. Jack McDonald backed out. I don't know why, But one assumption that I'm going to make is that maybe they are still working out, finalizing some sort of deal where Ripple is going to acquire standard custody as well, or maybe, pay out those shareholders, or maybe worst case scenario, like I mentioned before, standard in custody is, there's not much left there. We'll see. Maybe they're still looking for a buyer for the IP. Maybe there's still something there. I'm trying to remain hopeful, but I wanted to make that data point. In the update that I provided on PolySign, I actually talked about how there are folks from PolySign who have been, or folks from standard custody that have been brought on board Ripple, but they're working on Medico's technology, not on PolySign, not on AtomicNet. They're working on Medico. Not looking good for PolySign, but we'll see. I still remain hopeful, and I will follow up with you guys if we get any more information. In the meantime, Ripple's about to set up an office in Geneva, Switzerland, the capital of, one of the capitals of banking and finance in the world. Absolutely massive. Continuing on, we've also decided to fold our Liquidity Hub product into our payment solution. So basically, they're sunsetting the Liquidity Hub product, and they're taking the good pieces, I guess, or parts of it, and they're going to continue offering that with their overall Ripple Payments product. Ripple's own experience building a payments business and mastering how to deliver liquidity to the right destination for the right cost at the right time taught us a lot about liquidity management. We're applying the lessons we learned from our experience to our customers' experiences, and that's massive. They go on to talk about the stablecoin. That's on the way. It's going to be on the XRP ledger and Ethereum blockchains. Absolutely massive. Once Ripple USD launches, we plan to integrate it into the Ripple payments alongside XRP to serve customers' growing needs and evolving use cases in cross-border payments. Love it. Absolutely love it. XRP Ledger is the blockchain of choice for institutional DeFi use cases due to its reliability, high performance, low transaction costs, and speed. Institutional DeFi requires high-quality stablecoins for on-ramping, trading, and more. Bringing trusted stablecoins to the XRP Ledger from companies with a compliance-first mindset unlocks new capabilities, use cases, and users for DeFi developers. XRP is still the universal bridge asset for the XRP Ledger and is especially useful to create liquidity for long-tail assets. For example, in regions where the cost to move money across borders is particularly high due to the lack of liquidity between currencies, XRP remains the most efficient. And that's a key takeaway. Despite the stablecoin, in these corridors where there's not good liquidity, there is good liquidity in US dollars and euros. Those types of flows, plenty of liquidity, not much friction. Fees are already very competitive and they've been brought down. Illiquid corridors where there is lots of friction and the payment fees are still very high, XRP still is the best solution. And please remember that for all of those stablecoin transactions that are on the XRP ledger, you're going to be using XRP and burning XRP with every one of those transactions. Obviously, on Ethereum, they will be using Ethereum, paying those fees. That will suck, but we want to have that interoperability and we want to be able to bridge that liquidity over. And that's going to be done through the new bridge. XLS 38D, the cross-chain bridge amendment, is now going to be handled by Acceler Network. That's a partnership that's now been carved out between Ripple and Acceler to kind of just handle that bridge. And so we're going to be watching and waiting for that to be implemented, but this is going to bring all of that capability and interoperability we need from the EVM and Ethereum over to the XRP ledger. Absolutely massive. Now, they go on to furthermore add a little bit of data. Since 2012, it has processed 2.8 billion transactions without failure or security breach. And of course, they're talking about the XRP ledger. They go on to talk about the DEX, and then they say that Ripple, alongside many projects like Zonix, Orchestra Finance, Credify, Sologenic, Archax, and more, are building applications on top of the XRP ledger to move TradeFi to modern financial tools. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I did do an interview with the CEO of Credify. That is in my interviews playlist. And so if you guys want to check out that one, you guys can check it out on my YouTube channel. Just go to the interviews playlist, look up Credify, and you will see my interview with the CEO of Credify on my channel. Love to see it, right? Building the blocks for enterprise, got that. That's great. And they're basically just, it's a quick blog post here where they're synthesizing how well they are positioned now with not just cross-border payments. They got the custody. They're tapping into the XRP ledger DEX. The XRP ledger has been moving tons of volume, tons of transactions, and it's only increasing from here. How much more are we going to increase from here? I want to show you in this blog post that came out on July 15th, asset tokenization today and tomorrow, just this first data point. The estimated worth of asset tokenization today is as much as 3.5 billion, and within projections, this could reach and with projections that it could reach 16 trillion by 2030. The tokenization market represents a massive opportunity. So, like I've been saying, Ripple payments at 50 billion of volume, that's nothing. Swift moving 5 trillion daily, ACI worldwide moving 14 trillion daily. We're talking 20 trillion plus of payment volume on a daily basis. We're just a drop in the bucket right now. When it comes to tokenization, we're at about 3.5 billion, and we're set to achieve 16 trillion by 2030. And what increases the price of an XRP is not just tokenizing the value and putting it on chain, but basically building out the liquidity for the trading between these assets. That's what's going to move XRP price. It's one thing to tokenize it and put it on chain. That's great. But if there's not a flow of liquidity, if there's not an AMM liquidity pool built, and there's not trading between said assets, you're not going to see use of XRP, burning of XRP, and an overall increase in XRP price other than the initial, hey, we put $1 billion worth of tokenized gold on chain. Maybe that temporarily increases price. That's a little bit of a bump. But what we really want to see is these AMM liquidity pools get built out. When we see other tokenized assets get put on the XRP ledger and then they get AMM liquidity pools, right? This is when we start to get those flows moving, that liquidity growing, and this is going to be burning XRP with every single transaction, and it's going to be locking up more XRP that folks are going to want to hold and have available to tap into the XRP ledger liquidity. When we put this all together in summary, it's so clear how well Ripple is positioned already as the #1 digital asset infrastructure provider. What gets better is when regulations get passed, and the next part is when the utilities get finalized and added to the XRP ledger. You're seeing what Ripple's doing. Me and you, Joe Blow Schmo, can play around with the XRP ledger. We can make our NFTs, we can make our memes, we can add our liquidity to the AMM, and that's all great, fine, and dandy. But what Ripple's doing with this DeFi is they're focusing on bringing it to institutional clients. So we have the top-down approach, we have the bottom-up approach. It's the best of both worlds. And with the layer 1 protocol that the XRP ledger is getting all these utilities on, we're doing so in a decentralized way where we won't have to worry about our AMM getting sued like Uniswap is, right? The Ethereum Uniswap AMM, it's looking like they're about to get sued here by the SEC potentially. Meanwhile, on the XRP ledger, our AMM's been added on the layer 1, completely decentralized. There's no third-party entity. There's no counterparty risk other than the impermanent loss risk that you have with the AMM. By the way, I got another AMM update coming on the way. I want to let you guys know how I've been doing on my AMM liquidity pools. If I've made any money, have I lost money? That update is on the way. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss that one and more. And if you guys appreciate our content, you guys know what to do. Really does help us out. If you can smash that thumbs up, share it out far and wide. And like I said, everything's at ZachRector.com. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a blessed weekend. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.